RAGEBOUND is here and I can stay silent no longer. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Ninja Burrito, and if you can't tell, I'm over the moon to finally get my hands on RAGEBOUND. I am incredibly excited about it. It's just been phenomenal. I can't put the thing down. I played it so much yesterday that I already beat it. We already put out our 100% achievement and trophy guide. And there's still more to come. I mean, there's hard mode difficulty, which is not just a difficulty, but an actual additional ending. I've got to play through that. Maybe even some more costumes to unlock. And I want to talk about how is the game. And beyond that, not just the game, but also the soundtrack. All right, for songs, I'm going to showcase a few songs. We already listened to the main theme, RAGEBOUND, which I think is probably top tier. That main theme for the game is so badass. But let me showcase a few other songs. In the late game, we get The Return Part 2. So The Return Part 2, I think, is such a good song for the end game. Like, listen to this for a second. It's that pivotal moment where you're driving towards uncertain destruction, trying to save the day. Everything's culminating, and this song is driving you past RAGEBOUND's greatest hits of enemies from the beginning, middle, end of the game, all the greatest hits coming at you, and you're cleaving through, driving towards this goal. It's got these like leitmotifs and like these break sections where it's trying to convey this idea of like something's about to happen, man, and for good or ill, we're going through with it. Such a good song. And with RAGEBOUND's, OST, like there's just, for every example of a song like this, there's 100 more. There's like 2 hours of music for this game, and it never stops hitting, This next song is the Kuni no Tani theme, I think it's called. This is the sound of defeat. Like, our hero loses, Kenji loses the fight, and it's that moment of despair, that moment of reflection where he literally gives in to defeat, and it's Komori who pulls him out of it, and it's Komori who makes the sacrifice to save him in that early part of the game where they first meet. And I think that part is just so good. This soundtrack perfectly delivers on that notion that I have failed because I'm not Ryu Hayabusa. That is this song. And then, of course, it kicks up where it's like, it's so like, oh, hold on, we're not done yet, Kenji. We're not done yet. It doesn't stop here. So good, so good. And then just one more song I want you guys to hear, because everyone knows the fast-paced, awesome, action-packed songs. So let's take it quieter with another one. Instead of the sound of defeat, let's have the sound of loss. And for this is Requiem. It is an original Ninja Gaiden song that they remade with a RAGEBOUND version. It is very, very, very good, very, very reflective, and it is perfectly used at the moment in the game where you as the player actually realize that you've become attached to the characters. Ninja Gaiden is not known for its story as a franchise, but it is known for characters that we genuinely think are awesome. But in this case, we actually have that feeling of loss, and you realize that the relationship between Kenji and Komori buds and builds over the course of the game. And when you get to that pivotal moment at the end, it hits. one of the magics of RAGEBOUND is that you don't realize just how much you fall in love with the characters as you're playing it. You really enjoy the witty quips, the banter back and forth, where it goes from hostility to I can't stand you to I rely on you to I got you to inseparable. And then the ending happens and you're like, man, this game is actually great. This is actually a great game. I love this game. Just it's not the most magical, amazing, well-written story in the world, sure, but it does make you feel something. It kind of subtly lets you fall in love with the characters, and I think that's great. That's really great. So the soundtrack is amazing. The highs are high and the lows are mellow and dramatic and somber, even dramatic and somber together. Like you feel like this intense emotion muted by circumstance. It's so good. Really, really amazing soundtrack. I am listening to it constantly now, just while working. While working, I'm just jamming, you know what I mean? And it is phenomenal. But enough about the soundtrack. Let's talk about the game. Let me tell you. Let's start with the final boss, right? So Ninja Gaiden has a history of not having the greatest bosses. This one has some bosses that I'm just like, this boss. I hate this boss. But that final boss stands up to the legacy of the NES, okay? Right? I went into this final boss with like some crappy non-boss fighting talismans, and it was rough. I had like, when you roll it, damages enemies. I was just playing around with talismans, and I paid a price for that. Even on normal difficulty, it was rough. I had to learn the dance and I had to play relatively well to get that kill, just because I had handicapped myself with these talismans going into that level that just aren't that effective. So that boss is a little tough. Very, very well designed though. Like you get to play as both characters, and there's like some cinematography to it all, and it was really, really great to be challenged even on normal difficulty and to be given such a good presentation for the end of the game. I mean, the game looks great as well. It's visually diverse across the entire thing. There's some air of mystery, some answers I'm still waiting for, even when the game is over. Going to all these vistas, going to all these places, meeting all these people. Like you meet the CIA agent girl with like a fox mask. Who was she? Where did she come from? How did she know us? Those are things that I don't have answered to this day, you know. And you know, as far as with the ninja talismans and the secret arts coming into the gameplay side of things, I felt like there was plenty of diversity. I didn't even get a chance to try out every single thing I unlocked because I unlocked so many things. And so for replayability, there's still things I want to try out. There's some like tools I didn't enjoy. Like I used like the ninja bombs or whatever that like, you know, you like sticky bombs or whatever. Wasn't a huge fan of those, but like the Kusari Gama was pretty cool. There's like this one weapon you can throw, this spider art that tracks enemies. There's just a lot of strategy that I feel like in hard difficulty, you're really going to have to think about those things. But in normal, just use what you like, experiment, and it's okay, you know? But as far as like the talismans go on, I guess, a challenge level, this is where I think they did something very, very brilliantly. The challenge mode talismans to get up to S++ rank, where you like put handicaps on, those were a lot of fun to play around with. Those were a lot of fun to use, and I think it's going to be truly impressive. We already have on YouTube like a lot of how to get S rank on every level, but what we don't have is S++ rank. And you know what else we don't have? S++ on hard mode. There's some crazy difficulty sitting in this game waiting for us in hard mode with the challenge talismans, I believe. And it's just, that's gonna be crazy, honestly. I don't know if I'm gonna go that far with it. Maybe I will, but at the moment, just I love that it's there, you know? The game is just straight up fun. It's got tons of ways to play it. Normal, hard, challenge talismans, different tools, secret arts, whatever. You can play it and customize it to your way. And then there's also the unlockable costumes. There's a lot here. But as far as like level design and gameplay and enemy design, it is that perfect old school feeling of you start fighting these really fun enemies in the beginning and you're like, I like these guys, I'm getting it, I'm cleaving through, and then you fight the real challenging enemies later and you start to miss the old demons you were fighting. You're like, oh man, I miss those old demons, you know. And then when they come back, you're like, yes, you know, there's those enemies, I love fighting these enemies, fuck these other enemies, you know. So it's great. It's such a good time, man. And the thing is you don't need to be a Ninja Gaiden fan to love this game. You don't need to be a classic games enjoyer either. You don't need to be like an NES or arcade head. Anyone can pick up this game. It's only like $23, $24, $25, something like that, and you'll just have a good time. The music and the visuals are enough for you to be like, dang, that's pretty. Or, you know, I didn't expect like the pixel art to look so pretty, or I didn't expect like the gameplay to be so fluid and so fun, and like when you're learning it, it clicks, you know what I mean? You're just like, oh, I can do this, oh, I can do that. There are some bosses where you just feel like everything's hitting you all the time until you get it. That's a little annoying, but that's just part of learning bosses, you know? The bosses in this game spam a bunch of attacks. They'll be like, this attack, that attack, this attack, this attack, summon an ad, this attack, this attack, this attack. And until you get the flow down to manage the boss, you will feel like you're just getting hit by everything. But that's okay. That's part of the learning process, and that's down the road. That's not your starting point. You'll get to those bosses near the end of the game, not at the beginning, you know? So it works. It's fun. I promise you'll have a good time with it. The reviews were absolutely right about this game. Now let's talk favorites. I'm not going to go into like story spoilers, but I will say that the story works. It's simple and clean, and it leans heavily into the character dynamic between Kenji and Komori, and their writing is good enough that that's okay. I do think there's like some poorly localized sections here and there that make you feel like you're reading a teenager's Twitter post at times more than actual character dialogue, but that's only like 5% of the time. 95% of the time, it absolutely works. We're here, we're slaying demons, we're getting answers to what the hell's going on, and I'm here for it. And one of my favorite lines from Kenji is early on when he says, I should have waited for Ryu. Like there's a moment of defeat where like Kenji just sits there and goes, I wasn't good enough. Ryu would not be in this situation. Ryu would have won, you know, and that line hit so hard because it's like, I'm not Ryu Hayabusa. I'm Kenji. I'm not as good. But damn it, Kenji, we can do this, brother. And then do it, he does, you know, with Komori, of course. You know, and with the ending of the game, they did such a phenomenal job. There's a choice that you have to make at the end, and how it plays out. I might not be like the most happy per se with the epilogue section, like some of the story that happens after your choice, after you're kind of done playing the game. I think it could have been a little stronger, and I think the localization is probably a big part of why it doesn't hit as hard. But it's serviceable. It doesn't hurt the game so much as just it falls a tiny bit short compared to the high bar of everything else. But it's small potatoes, man. The game is phenomenal. The ending is great. And I still have one ending I haven't unlocked, like the true ending. You have to beat hard mode, and I love that they gated it that way. They give you ending A, they give you ending B, whatever you want. But if you want the next part of the ending, the next secret level, right, you're gonna have to beat hard mode. I love that. So I am enjoying the game. I'm jamming to the music. The songs are stuck in my head all day. I want to go play it more. And hopefully, as you can see, you know, from the gameplay that we've shown, that it's just there's a lot in this game. I played it for like 16 hours, I think. Well, I was editing videos in the middle of that, so it's probably a lot less. But I played it for a lot anyways, and I just couldn't put it down. I didn't want to put it down, and I loved it, and I can't wait to play it more. Guys, go play RAGEBOUND. Continue the discussion in the comments. Please let me know if you liked it. Let me know if you are someone who has not tried it. What's your hesitation? I genuinely want to know about that. Like, is there something that you're like, I don't know if this is for me? Like, what are your thoughts on that? I encourage you to give it a try, absolutely, if you have the money. But if you don't, consume some content for it, man. Like, it is rare, in my opinion, that we get a game that, even though it has a target demographic, it has like a niche that it fits into, genuinely speaking, if you just like video games, this game is a game for people who like video games. Go play Ninja Gaiden RAGEBOUND. You're gonna love it. The reviews being so high across the board is not a mistake, I promise. But yeah, that's it, man. That's all I've got to say about it for now. I'm gonna be making more content around RAGEBOUND until Ninja Gaiden 4 gets here. So, you know, I hope you like and subscribe and stick around. I'd love to have more conversations like this. But until next time, I'm Ninja Burrito, and I'm burritoing my way out of here. See ya.